Let's do it.
Every stage of Python's development, I've always been surprised by how far.
Well, listen to his reduction here. I've always been.
In every stage of Python's development, I've always been surprised.
I've always been. So he's basically saying food, bean, right? What's the reduction of B-E-E-N? Been. Just like we talked about. No vowels. I've always been, been. Right? So a lot of you guys are saying bean, that means food. You need to understand through context.
Surprised by how far it had come.
Look at how small he makes his stressed vowel in far.
In every stage of Python's development, I've always been surprised by how far it.
How far or how far. I've always been surprised, right? His contrast is not, it's not a lot, right? He's saying I've always been surprised how far. So I've always been surprised how far. R, right? Highlighting the vowel sound.
And in the context, they
look at this context. Con. Look at how I say context. Hear the difference? Mine's way more open and big. He's saying context. I'm saying context.
Only alternative was shell scripts.
See, alternative. So he really likes the T sound, right? Where for my ears, because that T in alternative, right? There's two T's. Alter. The first T is at the beginning of the stressed syllable. So we make it obvious. We make it clear. Alter, right? It's important. We want it to stand out. We want it to be clear. But the second T is not important. It's unstressed. And it's surrounded by vibration. So I'm not going to say alternative. I'll say alternative. Div, right? That flap T sound doesn't just make me sound American. It tells the listener that it's unstressed.
The only alternative was shell scripts, which was totally inadequate for.
Same thing with totally. I'll say totally.
What I wanted to do. I wanted something that was much safer.
Look at that was, right? So he's really not using reductions at all.
I wanted something that was.
Or that was. He did make it small, right? It's definitely unstressed, but he's not talking with the vibration. He's not smashing those consonants together. He's not saying was like that.
I showed my Python prototype.
The way he's saying Python, he's definitely opening up, giving I some space. But if you listen, there's no feeling of the vowel sound because there's no vibration or resonance. It's mostly constant. It's like,
my Python prototype.
Python. Instead of Python. Python. Right? Again, what do our ears follow? Vibration and resonance. He's giving his mouth sounds.
Script to process some one-off.
Did he say some?
Script to process some.
Some, right? Look, okay. So look at this. He says process and some. Which word is probably more important, right? Obviously process. We talked about in the last live that some is almost always a function word. He's pronouncing some bigger than process. So he's sending it the opposite way that makes sense for English.
Or random little script to process some.
Right. Process some, or process, what is it? Process some one-off bits, right? Process some one-off bits. Some reduction inside the body.
Coders out there. And
well, I mean that's just cherry picking. I mean he's out there. He's not pronouncing TH. I think anybody can identify that.
And we worked hard on the first open.
Look at that, hard on, right? That is not an important word. On. Worked hard on the donna. He said hard on. Said a hard donna. Those are two function words. Just got to make them small.
And source release. That was an immediate success. So despite that it wasn't my day job.
I mean, I understand that through context only.
Despite that it wasn't my day job.
Job. He's opening the mouth from here. Job. I said job, right? Look at that's the difference. If you open your mouth from the front, jaw, all this stays closed, jaw. Or if you open it from back here and open up where your voice is coming out, day job. Listen to the difference, day job, job, like that.
They were also excited about Python. They thought
Also, this is so class. I mean, all instead of also. Listen, all. Like
they were also
look at his lips. He's pronouncing the whole thing with his lips. Also, it's like he's kissing the air. Also instead of also. Look how relaxed my lips are. Also, look how much space I have. Look how big it sounds. Also, he said also.
And now tell all your friends.
Friends. Wait, there's no vibration there. Listen, friends. It's just in the mouth.
Said, thank you for, and now tell all your friends.
Friends. I would say friends. You hear the more vibration, how my voice is coming from the body. Listen, like it's the same thing every time. English, we want to hear just a few different things, and apparently it's much different than what everyone else is doing in the world.
Names or fame.
Or, right, right. That should be a reduction. Or, right. Famous people are, let's go back. Let's listen.
Sort of patterns for naming languages like acronyms.
Well, hold on. We just covered that one. Patterns, what?
Sort of patterns for naming language.
He just did exactly what we talked about. Patterns for. He made it small, but he pronounced the whole thing. He didn't say for. He didn't say patterns for. He said patterns for. Right? So, he's pronouncing a word that's not important as if it was important.
Just like acronyms or famous people or even mythology were boring.
That was a good reduction. We're boring. Do you hear that? That was nice and clear. Great job, Guido. Right? We're boring. Right? We're or stood out with the vowel sound. What is this? This is the most watched moment. What is he talking about here?
Python's community is a fantastic thing. It's a great
fantastic, right? It's a different vowel sound. Tas, we say ah.
Great resource. It's a place where people can get help with projects.
All right, there's a misreduction. People can.
Resource. It's a place where people can get help with.
Can. He made it small, but he said kin. The reduction is kin. He said can. I say kin.
Projects. It's also a very diverse place. I worked hard on that. Or again, I mostly encourage the community to do more of that.
To do more, right? Turn that to a schwa would be a lot easier.
Where people sort of, when they develop new pieces of software, whether that's libraries or applications.
The guy says software.
It reaches a point where people sort of, when they develop new pieces of software, whether
soft. Every vowel has two versions, stressed and unstressed. The stressed version is bigger. So the way he's doing it, his stressed version of software is this soft. So this is how you can just even figure it out on your own. Where would you be able to put a smaller version inside of this? So impossible, right? So it would have to be so. Look at this. This is my stress. Saw. Look at the space from back here. Saw. Unstressed. Saw. So my unstressed looks more like his stress. I say like this. Software, like that.
Or large arrays of floating.
I mean, it just opened this, just like most students. I mean, he's just not look at this large. Look how he says large.
Or large arrays.
Large. He's making all his mouth movement from the front of the mouth. Large. And all of this is staying closed. There's no identity. He's not establishing presence of a stressed vowel. He's saying large instead of large. Listen to the difference. Large. Right? So that's the kind of contrast and obvious identity an American listener's ear wants to hear with that kind of space, along with the pitch.
Are of utmost importance to the
importance. Like, listen.
Maintaining the stability and backwards compatibility.
All right, hold on. He is obsessed with these T's. I mean, it's so distracting when you pronounce all your T's perfectly, especially when you have these words that finish with ity, the unstressed. Stability, compatibility, right? It's not easy to follow because you're sending these mouth sounds that just don't compute for my American ears.
Maintaining the stability.
Maintaining. I mean, I pronounce it as a true T, but like he made that like the most. He made that T stand out more than the vowel. He said maintaining instead of maintaining, aining, right? Where I'm focused on the vowel, he's like maintaining. Listen to the rest of these T's.
And backwards compatibility.
Hold on. Listen. All right, I'm going to be quiet. Listen to the T's here.
Maintaining the stability and backwards compatibility.
Maintaining the stability and backwards compatibility, or maintaining the stability and backwards compatibility. Hear how I have way more resonance and vibration, maintaining the stability and backwards compatibility. Because our ears don't follow these perfect sounds that come from the mouth.
Complex statement that...
Complex, right? He's really, really not making clear this ah vowel. We've seen it in several examples, right? Look how I say complex. Ka.
Yeah, we have at least one complete new complex.
I mean that. Sorry, I can't stop interrupting them. All right, look, we talked about syllabic consonants not too many lives ago. All right, the word complete. All right, the first syllable is unstressed. It finishes with an M. It's a reduction. We're not going to pronounce the vowel sound at all. Listen to how I say kum, 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 kum. Just vibration resonance going into E. Complete. Listen to this.
Yeah, we have at least one complete new...
I say kum, kum, kum. He said complete. So he's pronouncing every syllable perfectly, which doesn't compute for our brains. How does he say complex?
Complex state.
Right? So, like, he made a reduction and a stressed syllable sound exactly the same, right? He took kum and turned to ko, complete. And he took complex and turned to ko, complex. So, right, literally, you can see, I mean, they're written the same way, but the rhythm pattern is totally different. But, you know, he's pronouncing it because it's written that way. That's the way he's pronouncing it. He's saying complete, complex. I'm saying complete, complex. Look how different that is. Complete, complex. This is calm. Complete, complex. Totally different universe. Just because it's spelled that the same way does not mean that it sounds the same way at all. You have to understand how to listen to rhythm to be able to sound clear.
The parser completely.
You hear how strong that P sound was? We could not hear the vowel sound at all. There was no vowel. It's like that P sound just exploded in my ear.
The parser.
The parser. Parser. I don't even know what that word means, but I wouldn't even have any chance of even figuring it out the way he's pronouncing it.
The parser.
This really makes me laugh. I don't know why this is so funny to me.
The parser.
The parser, like, because he's like building up this energy. The parser, like, all right, man.
Completely, using very different principles, a different sort of way of building parsers.
You guys know what parsers are? Let me know in the chat.
Adding a type system.
And look, all right. So here's like all right. This time he made space for adding, but look how he did it.
Adding.
Look how he's using his lips. Like he's like stretching his lips out to the side. He's going, all in adding, right? So again, we were talking about it before. He's using the front of his mouth to move the mouth, the front part. You can see because the lips are so involved. Adding. Look at this. Look at how relaxed my adding. All the movement from me is back here. He's going adding, right? So you can see he's really used to making mouth movement with the front of his mouth, not the back jaw part.
Writing C# or C++.
Writing C#, like in love with the T's. Again, that T's not important, so we don't pronounce it as a true T. We just keep it vibrating. It's not just to sound American. It lets us know that it is unstressed. All right, we're almost done with this here.
Hey, you still need to write code.
Okay, you hear that? He's just being understood by context, right? If you just listen to the first 4 words, you still need to. You don't know what he's talking about because you can't tell if you need to or if you need to. You hear the difference? Need to or need to. If you make it a schwa, then we understand it's not a content where you're not telling us you need to of something. Listen,
You still need to write
you
code.
still need to. You still need to. What do we need to of? No, we need to. We need to. We need to write code, and then that way, write stands out. But if you still need to write code, still need to write code, still need to write code, right? Where you have more up and down contrast. What's up, guys? We're almost done here, but hit the like button if you're enjoying this. If you're learning something, let me know where you're watching from. Just gonna look at a couple more here. I don't know what he just said, but that was a great. That just encompassed most of what he sounds like. Just right. I imagine in his language, the what is he's Dutch, right? He's from the Netherlands. The T must be very important because like he has not missed any opportunities to make that T sound shine. Yeah, that is really like the T is the star of the interview here.
To human languages.
Is he saying two? No. See, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't even know. Is he saying two human languages? No, he said similar to human languages. Let's listen in context.
They've put all kinds.
Listen to how strong that P sound is. Listen to that. It's just it's like he put all of his life into put. Listen.
They've put all kinds.
Put.
Kinds of things that are similar.
That are. We already talked about, right? That should be a reduction, not that are. That are. We don't say are. We say See if I can listen to this sentence without interrupting.
They've put all kinds of things that are similar to human languages.
No way, especially how he broke it up like that. Listen, even with the context, it's not obvious. Put all kinds of things that are similar, hard pause, to human languages.
They've put all kinds of things that are similar to human languages.
Human languages. All right, one more and then I'm getting out of here.
AIs will just learn to work with whatever language.
Language. All right, so you can say language. All right, guys, so that's the accent analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Remember, if you have someone that you want me to analyze, drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments of the video. Or if you want me to analyze you, scan that QR code you see on the screen.